In the last video, we managed to install Android Studio and to start a new project. If this is the first time that you install Android Studio, you will see that once the project has been created, there is also going to be an additional download to get the Gradle component from Android. So we are also going to let this process finish before we move on, and I will resume the video once this is done. Okay, so our project is now all set and we are ready to install an Android emulator in our system, which we will be using to run our Flutter apps. So to do this, we are going to select Tools from the menu at the top and then click on AVD Manager, like this. And once AVD Manager starts, we get an option to create a virtual device. So we're going to press on this button. And here we get to choose which device we want to create. So we're just going to keep the selected option, which is the Nexus 5X over here. And then I'm going to press Next. And in addition to this, we need to download a version of Android. So the latest one that I currently have is Android Pie. So I'm going to press on this download link over here. And this will start the license agreement. So I need to scroll the way to the bottom and I can accept the license agreement. I can press on next and this will start the download for Android Pie, which will be the version of Android that we'll be using to run with our emulator. So I'm going to pause the video once again and I will resume once this download is complete. Our Android SDK has now been installed, so we can press on the finish button. And then we can select this Android Pie version that we have installed, and we can press on Next. Here we see a new screen where we can verify the configuration for our Android emulator. So what I want to do here is to press on this Show Advanced Settings button at the bottom. And if we scroll down, we can see the various settings that we can configure in our Android emulator. So what we want to make sure is that we have enough RAM and internal storage so that we will be able to run our Flutter apps. And just so you know, if you ever get an error saying that the Android emulator has insufficient storage, then you can increase the value that you see here and try again. In any case, these values look good, so we can press on Finish to complete the creation of our Android emulator. So this is now going to create our Android device and it's going to list it over here in the list of devices. If I press on this play button all the way to the right, this is going to start the Android emulator for us. So I'm just going to pause the video until the Android emulator starts and then I will resume. Our Android emulator is now up and running, which is great news. In the next video, we are going to create a simple Flutter app and run it on this emulator so that we can verify that everything works correctly. So let's continue on the next video.